right? Okay. So I'm going to start with you so you understand what I'm talking about. This is your human design body graph. And here on this side, on the black numbers, this is the positions of the planets. Are you in any way familiar with astrology?
Yes, very.
Okay. So I can show you this. And
Okay.
this is the positions of the planets. This is what we use in human design as we consider it why does this keep appearing? All right, this is the Rave wheel and disappear. And if you see, this is the zodiac parts.
Yes.
And each zodiac line is basically divided into 5 gates. So it's a bit more specific where the placement of the planets are. And when I move back into the standard view, these are the positions of the planets according to their positions here.
Okay.
So that's where it comes from. That's where the numbers come from. This is the positions of the planets exactly at the time of your birth. And these are the positions of the planets 88 degrees of the sun before you were born. So usually it's 88 days because the sun kind of moves 1 degree a day.
Okay.
But it might be 87 because it's not 24 hours, it's 23 hours and something. But
Okay.
approximately.
Okay.
These are what's different in human design than in astrology is the fact that we have added the Earth location, personality Earth and design Earth, the Earth position. And if I move back so you understand where that comes from, wait a second, I forgot to look, 20. Okay, obviously. So it's in Gemini here, gate 20. How we take the position of the Earth is exactly diametrically opposed because it's not taken, you can't take the position of the Earth only in conjunction with the position of the sun. So the Earth will always be diametrically opposed to the sun.
Okay.
And this is different. And the first 4, so the first 2 here, sun and earth on your personality sign and sun and earth on your earth design, make up pretty much 70% of your energetical imprint. And this is your cross of incarnation, basically the reason you incarnate here. And it gives you a bit of direction and purpose in life. Okay. Now, as an energy type, you're a manifesting generator. You have the channel 3420. It's this one, and it's in your cross of incarnation. This is a very specific manifesting generator channel. And this is, okay, so it combines astrology with the chakra system and the Kabbalah, but it has added elements to the chakra system. The human design system operates on 9 centers, not on 7, but many of them are the same. This is the root, this is the sacral, this is the solar plexus, this is the ego or the heart, this is the G center, the identity center, throat, third eye, ajna, and head or crown. And this is the spleen, which is the center of intuition and survival.
Okay.
You will notice that you have some of them colored in and some of them white.
Yes.
The ones that are colored in are your energetic imprints. So who you are, what you put out there, the energy that you have. And everything that's white is what you are here to learn. I like to explain it as what's colored in is the student and what's in white is the lessons you are here to learn in life. And As a manifesting generator, you are here to respond. That's your strategy. You have to go through life by responding. And responding to what? You can obviously respond to people, but you can respond to life itself. For example, the dishes in the sink are there. They are a question for you to respond to. You either have a energetic clears, I can't see them anymore, I'm going to do them right now, and that's an energetic response. Or it can be the opposite. I can't deal with this now. That's also an energetic response of no.
Okay.
That's how your energy functions. Your authority is the solar plexus. Now, this is quite a difficult authority to have because it means you have to take decisions in emotional clarity.
Okay.
And your emotional wave is the 3536. This is a collective emotional wave, which means emotions don't necessarily come from you. You move from joy to sadness and back to joy again and back to sadness again, regardless of what you do. You might be doing the same thing and your emotions change.
Okay.
The worst spaces to take decisions is when you're at the height of your feel good wave or at the bottom of your feel bad wave, because that's where you would be least clear about your decisions.
Okay.
You have a split. No, you don't. It's a single definition. This is connected. Yes, it's a single definition. All right, as a single definition, you can function and take decisions as yourself without any interaction with anyone. You're most likely fine by yourself. You quite might enjoy spending time by yourself as a first liner sometimes. And you might also feel like you can be by yourself in a crowd. You can be in a crowd full of people and move inside your head and think about things that have nothing to do with what's happening around you.
Yeah.
I'm going to discuss your profile. Your profile is the one is the investigator. The one I tend to make fun of people who have the first line profile. I have it too, because we don't go to a restaurant before we read the reviews. We don't go traveling before we look at photos and everything. We tend to investigate everything and have to know things beforehand before we go into something. We don't blindly go into something. And this stems from actually a fear. The first line needs to have a solid ground to feel stable. If it doesn't have a solid ground, it feels uncertain and there's a fear to step forward. But that's completely the opposite of how your other side function. Your other side is the third liner, which is like I described your twin flame, is the anarchist, bonds made to be broken, trial and error process. So you are the person who always investigates and needs the stable ground, but something will always pull you into the trial and error. This is the subconscious side. Everything in red is subconscious. So the more you investigate, the more you feel like you're being pulled into trial and error, into problems, into things. The third line usually learns through experience, and experience is a very hard teacher because it first delivers the exam and then the lesson. So you might feel like, you might feel like you're pulled into a lot of crisis moments in your life.
Okay.
That's also defined by your wave here, 3536, the one that I explained to you how it moves, but this is also the channel of crisis. But the channel of crisis is a very important one for humanity because it's the channel that moves from inexperience to experience. Without this channel, we wouldn't have fire, we wouldn't have the will, we wouldn't have many of human developments because it has to move from a state that I don't know anything into I'm figuring it out.
Okay.
And it has the courage to do that.
Okay.
You have a defined sacral, which makes you a manifesting generator, and the defined sacral is something that is defined by satisfaction. So when you're doing something that you enjoy, something that you love, this center will give you more and more energy to keep doing that. But when you're doing something you don't enjoy, something that you will feel drained very fast, very easily, and feel like you have to give it up. Feel like it's a struggle, feel like it's pushing something up the hill.
Okay.
You have also a defined root. That's an extra sense of energy. The more motor centers you have defined in your chart, the more movement and energy is required. You have 3 of them, the solar plexus, the sacral, and the root. The root might require some grounding because the root is also a pressure center. But that since you have it defined, it means you work well under pressure. You do well in situations of stress. You probably get out with no problems out of situations of stress.
Yes.
And you have a defined root, and you have the throat, and you have the throat defined to 2 channels. Now, 3420 is the most specific manifesting generator channel that there is. And these people who have, I have it too. The people who have the 3420 are busy. People come ask you something. No, I can't, I'm busy. They tell you that you have to do something. No, I can't, I'm busy. It's a constant busyness. And we are busy with our own process, most usually with our own growth, with our own creativity. And this is also a very big energetic boom that might make you create stuff, do stuff impulsively. This will feel impulsiveness in you. And it might push you to make decisions out of this impulsivity and not waiting for emotional clarity.
Okay.
As for your not self teams, I'm going to start from up down. You have a completely open head. The not self theme of a completely open head is thinking about things that don't matter. 70% of the population has an open head, which is why we're not thinking about things that matter, like solving world problems. We're always solving little problems.
Yeah.
But this is also a pressure center, and the pressure that this center puts on you, this is not healthy, this is not defined like the root, this is not healthy pressure for you, is to solve other people's problems. You take in other people's questions, you take in other people's worries, you take in other people's thoughts, and you make them your own, and you assume responsibility to fix them.
Yeah.
Now, the wisdom, what you are here to learn with an open head is that this is a center that is able to, well, basically get inspiration from outside of yourself. If you can notice, this center is the only one that's slightly out of the body shape. And that's because the energetic of the crown literally sits above a bit.
Okay.
And it's able to tune in to inspiration from outside. All literature comes from an open head center.
Okay.
The next one is the Ajna center, the third eye. Now, the not self theme of this one is pretending to be certain. This quite literally means you have an open mind. You don't see things in black and white. You see them into all the shades in between. But when you see someone else being very certain that this is black, you tend to pretend you are certain like them, even though you might not be. And the wisdom of it is to actually embrace the uncertainty and to actually start enjoying life in the multiple shades that you see them in.
Okay.
Then you have the G center, this one in the middle. This is the identity center. And the not self theme of this center is always looking for love and direction. The wisdom of it is that both of those things can be found within. You won't find love outside until you find self-love. You won't find direction outside until you trust inside. And since this is the identity center, people might think of you as chameleonic. People might think of you as you are able to embody different energies, different personalities, depending on the setting you're in. And some people who are bothered by it might even consider you fake. This is not fakeness. This is an open identity center, and you literally are able to accommodate and match other people's energy because you take it in and feel how they feel like.
Yes.
And the open ego, it's literally an open heart, an open ego. But the problem with it is that you are trying to prove yourself. It might look like self-sabotage, might look a bit like an imposter syndrome. So it might look like not trusting in your own value. Usually people with an open ego, when they are told of their value, go, who, what, me? No, I'm not like that. And it's not a place from humbleness and excusing. They literally don't feel that self-worth in them. And when they are recognized, they doubt that they are recognized for their skills. The wisdom of it is the fact that you can see value in others. In an ideal world, the open ego, the undefined ego would be the one setting the price tag on things because they can see the real value of things. And you can notice when something is of value and when something is not of value.
Okay.
And the last open center you have is the spleen. This is the center of intuition and immune system. Your immune system literally needs to be trained. So you might have been a very sickly child when you were young, and it got trained over time. And even now, you might have a very intuitive connection with your body. You will know immediately when something goes wrong before it gets to have bigger symptoms.
Yes.
Now, the problem with an open spleen is that it likes to hold on. It holds on to things that are not good for you. So regardless if it's memories, regardless if it's addictions, regardless if it's people in your life, friends, family, the open spleen holds on to things and feels like if something falls from their life, they might not survive. It's a center of survival. So it's a very, very deep survival fear of losing something.
Okay.
The good parts and the wisdom of the open spleen, I have an undefined spleen as well, and I'm still playing with it. It's the fact that your intuition comes from many, many different sources. You are very intuitive, but your intuition is not consistent. So if other people say loud and proud, I'm clairaudient, I'm clairvoyant, I'm whatever, you can't say that because you experience bits and pieces of all of them, but never in a consistent way.
That makes complete sense.
And it's a bit hard to trust it because it doesn't come consistently.
Yes.
I'm still
Yeah.
exploring with that myself. I have it
Yeah.
open as well.
Okay.
Intuition comes where intuitive, everybody has intuition, regardless if their spleen is defined or not. The difference is people with a defined spleen will have it fixed in a certain way. They will always get their intuition in a certain way and they can rely on it. While with an open spleen, we can get it in any shape or form, and we have to trust that it's intuition in whichever form it comes in.
Okay.
Now, your process of incarnation is very interesting. You have the sleeping phoenix. Why I say it's very interesting is because we're all gonna collectively move into this cross of incarnation in 2027. So
Okay.
it's gonna be the global cross of incarnation for everyone for a couple of 100 years after 2027. So you might experience now, starting from now till 2030, a big surge of spirituality, a big surge of awakening, a big surge of unexplained things happening to you.
Yeah.
And that is because the sleeping phoenix, exactly like it's the name, it's the majestic phoenix that dies and reborn. Yeah. And the problem is the phoenix is sleeping. So the phoenix has to wake up in order to die. What usually happens for this cross of incarnation is that their sleeping mode is being very, very busy. They have the 3420. Their sleeping part is being very, very busy, and they are actually very useful for society in their sleeping mode. They might have great careers in their sleep mode, but then something happens, a click happens, and they awaken, and they are no longer asleep. They are no longer busy, and they move into a complete inward energy, and they explore life from within, and it will feel a sort of ego death. It will feel like everything around all the world kind of collapses and they have to start over.
Okay.
This might be actually triggered by something like a twin flame connection or something like this. Yeah, that's about it. I'm looking if I missed something. No, I didn't. Okay. I'm not gonna go in that many details about your twin flame. I'm gonna just look what's different between your charts. He has an open throat and he has a defined G center. So that's the two big differences.
Okay.
And the open throat is trying to get attention. That's the not self theme of the open throat. So he might be placed in positions, he might place himself in position when he is likely to get attention.
Yeah.
Open throats are also very good at using their voice, but they might not have a good timing for it. So they might speak when they're not supposed to speak. They might not think their words very well, or they might so they are very good with words, they're very exact with words, they know what they're saying, but they might not have the right timing.
Okay.
And he has a interesting. Yeah, okay. He has a defined G center, so he means it has a very grounded sense of identity. And you might amplify this, and I will go directly into the relationship. Oh, he is a generator. The only thing that he doesn't have, he has the same response like you. He's operating from response. He has the same authority, the solar plexus. So generally you are very similar, but he doesn't have a defined throat.
Okay.
The defined throat makes you a manifesting generator. Now, moving into the relationship. The most interesting that I noticed is the forming of the channel 10-20. This is an electromagnetic connection. You have gate 20, you're in green, and he has gate 10, which is in blue. Now, this channel is named the channel of awakening. And people who have the full channel usually awaken spontaneously by themselves, but none of you have it. So the connection spontaneously awakens you.
Okay.
It might be more difficult for him than for you because you have the gate 20. Gate 20 is the gate of the now, and you'll be influenced by gate 10 to awaken. While gate 10 is a gate of love, and I will explain the gate of love as well, but it's also a gate of control and controlling one's own behavior. And since he's in the army, it makes sense that he's controlling his own behavior. And these people only awaken when they release control. The moment they release control, they fall into self-love and they are spontaneously awakened.
Okay. He just retired in the fall from the military. So, and I noticed he's on a bit of a journey. So I think he's discovering all himself.
Yeah. So that's how it happens for people with gate 10. The moment they release control, the moment they are fine not to be in control of every behavior and every aspect of their life, they fall into self-love and that awakens them.
Yes, okay.
Now, the love gate here, and you both will notice it, is the gate love that says, I love myself when I'm with you. Gate 10 is the gate of self-love.
Okay.
And it's a transpersonal love gate. It means one-on-one love. Not all gates in the chart are one-on-one love. But it says, I love myself when I'm with you. Just a second, let me check on my kid because she's too quiet.
Okay, yes. No, just stop. Stop. Stop.
She just closed the door.
Okay.
What's interesting is that you have 1, 2, 3, 4 love gates, but only 2 of them are electromagnetic connections. So 4 types of energy of love would be expressed, but 2 of them are in electromagnetic connection. The first one, I explained it to you already, is the gate 10, the self-love. The next one is the 28. This is your expression alone. And it's the where love has purpose. This is about romance that begins with what you don't have, working together towards something, willing to struggle towards something. The magic of it is that it's able to bond with someone else without losing their own individuality, still being themselves while in bonds with someone else. But this is also the kind of energy where if you're not fighting, you're not really in love. Because it holds on to the individuality side so deeply, it also brings in the conflict of who I am versus who you are.
Okay.
Then you have also the 55, also you have most of them, except him having the gate 10. So gate 55, this is actually in process of mutation now, so it's a bit weird, but this is uncertain love. There is something there. I'm not sure what it is, but there is something. It's a kind of wishful romance. And it's the kind of romance that happens when you don't think about that person and don't think that you love them, but a song comes up and you suddenly think about that person and you're like, why am I thinking about that person? What's happening to me?
Yeah.
This is a bit irrational love or denying love. It's a bit
Okay.
of the energy of the runner if we discuss about the twin flame dynamic. And it's in your energetic system.
Okay.
And then gate 41. Gate 41 is the only love gate in the whole system, and it's he has it and you complete it on the other side with gate 30. It's the only gate in the whole system that combines love with sexual desires. The other ones can be platonic love, all of them.
Okay.
This one combines love with sex and desire and talks about I need to experience it in order to feel it.
Okay.
And the problem with it is that it also fantasizes a lot. It's a gate of fantasy and it fantasizes a lot, but usually, especially for him, as he has it hanging, he might fantasize about people a lot. Since you have the other side, it grounds that fantasy energy because the part on the other side that you have, gate 30, is the gate of desire. So it brings in the desire to the fantasy. And gate 30 is called in the I Ching the gate of clinging fire. So it literally clings to that fantasy. It
Okay.
matches that fantasy. And but gate 41 also has a fear. So it's the most sexual gate, yeah, but it has a fear of actually getting intimate because if the intimacy doesn't match the fantasy, it might destroy the relationship. So they
Okay.
might have a back and forth self-sabotage about these desires and fantasies.
Okay.
This is an electromagnetic connection. So this is something that will bring you closer back and forth.
Okay.
Another electromagnetic connection you have is on the gate of caring, on the channel of caring. So you literally care about each other and he assumes responsibility for you. He has the gate 50 and he is able to assume responsibility while you have gate 27, which puts you in a much more nurturing position.
Okay.
You have another two electromagnetic connections here that define the throat. And one of them is the gate of secrets, the 13, with the gate 33 that only gives out need to know information. You have the gate of secrets, so you might consider certain information of being of value because it's secret, because nobody knows it.
Mm-hmm.
And he might be the person who only gives out need to know information. He might be spare with words. He might not go deep into long conversations. But on the other side, you also complete the channel of the storytelling. So sharing stories between each other would be something that brings you together.
Okay.
And the biggest compromises are one, let me just check if I'm reading wrong. you have a lot of electromagnetic connections. So here it forms 1020, 1034. Yeah, the 7 electromagnetic connections I've only seen in one other relationship, and that is King Charles with his wife now. What? Camilla.
Oh, Camilla.
Yeah. So 7 electromagnetic connections I've only seen in their relationships. I have like 100 relationships.
Oh, wow. So that's quite strong then.
Yeah, yeah. But electromagnetic connections are, you can imagine it exactly magnetic. It's push and pull. It's
Yeah.
love and hate. It's where you both
Yeah.
condition each other. It's not stuck to each other. It's more like go in and back and forth, but it's very strong. It's 7 channels. Like pretty much a lot can happen, but you'll always be drawn somehow to each other. And you
Yeah.
actually have only one compromised channel. The only compromised channel is on the channel of the beat. Ask me something. What? You're being quiet. Thank you. You can ask me. Go take something, whatever you want from the drawer. I can't come right now. Okay? Take a snack. Take some bread. Take something. Okay. So the compromise means that, and let me see, you are compromised. It means that on that channel, the channel of the beat, the channel of the how you are moving, how you are routinely moving, he has dominance. So he decides when you meet, what you do, and it might bother you because you have part of that gate, and it might bother you that he takes charge, let's say, over that. But that's only one compromise. It's very little. It's very little problems. And you have 4 dominance channels, which is these are clean energies of learning from each other. And you have 1 companionship channel, which is the channel of mutation, and is the channel of growth. It's the butterfly that transforms from the caterpillar. Ask me something. Yeah. If you want a snack, go take it and bring it here and I open it for you. And yeah, the channel of mutation, that's what I was talking about. The channel of mutation is about changing, and this you have it together. You both of you have the same one. So you're both meant to evolve this kind of energy, and it's the channel of transformation. The caterpillar that transforms into a butterfly. It's a complete personal rethinking, remaking, changing your personality quite completely. And it might happen when you meet each other. It might happen individually because you both have it, but it's something that will show up.
Okay.
Your hair looks beautiful, sweetheart. It's not crazy. Your hair looks beautiful. Oh. It's perfect, sweet. It's not too high. Having girls and having hair problems.
I know. I've got a daughter too, so.
Yeah, so if you have any questions, oh yeah, the channel that Jessica mentioned that most connections have is the 4426. In your case, he has the 44, but nobody has the 26. So the 44 will still be expressed. This is the gate of successful love. He might express it. And the 44 is willing to work for appreciation. So yeah, he might really like to be appreciated for the things that he does. He might really like to be noticed for the work that he does, and he might express love through work,
Okay.
through doing services.
Okay. Understood. So we don't have that one consistent connection though, but we have a lot, we have so much too.
Yes, you have 7 of them, out of which,
Yeah.
a couple of them are 1, 2, 3 electromagnetic connection on love gates.
Yeah. Okay. So based on what you see here, and this is just my self-doubt speaking, do you believe that I'm on a twin flame journey?
I'm finding it very hard to pinpoint because I've done too few. So I think you're the 13 or the 14.
Yeah.
And I'm it's too small of bracket to see.
Yeah, you don't see all the consistencies. Yeah.
Yes, to see.
Okay.
And also, I'm not sure. Let me tell you how this channel that I notice most frequently works, because I'm not sure if what I'm noticing in most twin flame connections is a twin flame connection, or if it's just energetic mechanics at play. Because the 4426 connects the spleen, which I already told you that it has a hard time letting it go. It holds on to things, and it connects it to the ego. So usually one of the partners has a hard time letting go, while the other one gets an ego boost and enjoys the other's company because they get an ego boost. Usually the 26 will be the runner, and usually the 44 would be the chaser. The chaser would have a hard time letting go, and the runner would be on and off because every time they get an ego boost, they would run off and think they can do better, and then realize that they don't have their ego boosted anymore and return to the relationship. So I'm not sure if what I'm reading is a twin flame connection or is just energetic mechanics at play.
Okay.
I have that channel in my situationship, but I also have 3 other love connections, including gate 10 that you have as well, with the channel 1020 of awakening, including that one, including the 55. So I don't know. First thing that I was curious about and I was shocked about was the fact that in my connection, I had also 3 love gates, electromagnetic connection, and many love gates expressed in the chart, just like you. And I was like, what the hell? I checked other relationships, including, I don't know, my parents, my sister with her ex-partner, me with my husband. People usually have one love gate connection. And that's how most connections express love. They have one stable love connection, and that's how they express love to each other. What I'm seeing weird is that many, not all, also, there's some in the group that have only one love gate connection. Most twin flame connections will have more than one gate channel on love gates. You have 3 of them. I have 3 of them as well. There's many ladies who have more than one. So I guess that makes the connection a bit more stickier, a bit more showing different aspects of love.
Yes, okay.
Not sticking on one aspect over and over again.
Okay.
But not even on that do I see a consistency all throughout. What I do see that, yeah, everybody will have at least one love connection.
Okay. Understood. Okay. This has been really interesting.
If you have any questions, if you have any other, yeah.
Yeah, I don't right off the top of my head, but I may have over the next day or two.
Okay, sure. You can ask me
Yeah.
in there and I probably voice message you back.
Okay. Can do I get screen? Oh, it's all video recorded. I've got it all. Never
Yes,
mind.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
And I can also download this and send it to you.
Okay, that would be great too. Yeah, I'll print it off. Yeah, no, this is really neat. So it shows that there's a like there's a ton of energetic connection between us too.
Yes, yes. And it's a quite strong one.
Yeah.
I would say that it's stronger than the connect. I compared your relationship chart with King Charles and Camilla, but they had 7 electromagnetic connections, but only 1 love gate. You have 7 electromagnetic connections with 3 love gates. So it's a bit more powerful than that.
Wonder if we'll ever figure it out. Yeah, no, this is really neat. I don't know. I know a lot about astrology and I'll do some tarot cards and stuff on my own. So I know quite a bit about that, but I've never dug into anything to do with this yet. So
Yeah, it's
I
very interesting.
really,
I'm gonna also
yeah,
invite you in my private community. Everybody
yeah,
who gets a reading gets a free month in my community, especially to answer questions or to dive in deeper as you wish. And after
okay,
the 1 month, you can choose to stay, you can choose to leave, depending on how you like it. I'm gonna send the invite to you in Telegram.
okay, perfect.
And
Yeah, no, this is wonderful.
yeah, I'm working with this for like 2 years now and
Okay,
working with it. I discovered it 4 years ago and I started working myself doing readings 2 years ago. And I actually started working deeper and creating a website just 1 year ago.
okay. Wow, that's really good. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't have any questions